Hi, this is Abul Hussein coming to you direct from London, the United Kingdom, and welcome to another episode of the SMMA Mastermind podcast, where we talk about how you can start or scale your digital marketing agency. And today I've got a very special guest coming on who is a martial arts expert, and he is building an agency around working with dojos and martial arts schools, all the way from Vancouver in Canada. Nigel Harman, welcome to the show.
Awesome. Thanks for having me, Abul.
Thank you very much for joining me. I know it took a couple of times we had to reschedule because you are so busy. So I do appreciate your time. So for the people who don't know who you are, why don't you give us a little bit of an introduction into, I suppose, how your story began and how you ended up working with martial arts schools for your agency?
Awesome. Yeah. So, martial arts has been my entire life. I started martial arts when I was 7 years old. 28 now, so I've been in for 21 years, and I'm a martial artist first and foremost, because that's the industry that really raised me. And I've always wanted to be a martial artist and an owner growing up. And so I was training, I got to compete at some of the biggest stages, world championships, and I was national champion a few times. So I was competing a lot. That was like my life. And I started teaching a lot. What I noticed is that the owner, the master there, he was great at teaching classes. He was great with the parents. He could build rapport. He didn't know anything about digital marketing or getting new students online. And so I saw this common, issue amongst all these owners that were great owners, that were very professional, but it was just an area that was so unknown to them. And so I thought, if I really wanted to spread my vision of martial arts and spread my impact in the industry, why don't I help the owners so I can exponentially, spread the positive teachings of martial arts? So that's exactly what I did. I focused 100% on digital marketing, didn't know anything, too scared to sell my packages because I had no confidence I could deliver a service. And so I just worked for my owner, my master, for about 3 years, tweaking, learning, failing and struggling, and then overcoming, until I finally was able to generating a ton of results. And yes, now I have something tangible that I could actually sell to other people and have that confidence. And so that's kind of where my journey started, through digital marketing. So I've been learning digital marketing for the past 3 years, but I didn't go full-time into my business until I really was confident that I could actually deliver something. And so I went full-time in my business last October. So it's almost a year. I'm just under a year now. So I'm still fresh. And now I'm part of a bunch of digital marketing Facebook groups and big communities, and learning a ton, because it's never-ending process of learning. And so that's essentially where I'm at now.
That's an awesome story, an absolutely awesome story. And, a lot of people get stuck when they're trying to choose a niche. And what you've done is you've done what you should do, which is followed your passion. You're in a business where you understand the language, you understand the niche, you understand your prospective clients. So in terms of what you're doing at your agency, Knockout, for your existing clients, what kind of services are you actually providing them?
So we're doing 3 different avenues. We do Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Facebook is the big one for us. We're always all over Facebook. And we're also taking care of, the whole generation part, the lead generation, the lead nurturing, right? So we're not just generating leads for our clients and throwing it to them and saying, hey, take care of them. We take care of the ad creation, to the lead creation, till the follow-up sequences, till the nurturing them, get them in the door. So all the owners have to do is close them, right? And then just deliver the best service possible. So we removed all that reach out for them and all that extra, back-end work that is so tedious, but so important. So that's essentially what we're doing, making it a lot easier, removing them from that process, taking the lead as close to the sale of contact, as close to the sale, the point of sale as possible, which is them showing up at the studio.
Yeah, that definitely makes a lot of sense. Now, there's a lot of kind of agencies out there, entrepreneurs out there, even businesses that are doing lead generation themselves. And what they find is that the quality of the leads are quite poor. What has your experience been in generating leads? How are you, I suppose, qualifying them and making sure that you are delivering the best quality leads to your clients?
Yeah. So number one, I think just having the mindset of understanding the type of people that you're creating through this lead generation is very important, right? Because a lot of owners, when their business is so used to referrals or just, like walk-ins, those are a little bit different than online leads, right? Like especially referrals, like a lot of owners thrive on referrals based, which is great. It means that they deliver an amazing package. It means that their clients are happy enough to refer them. So when their clients refer them, those referrals are already excited because they've already talked about your school, they've heard the stories, they've gone on your website, so they're very warm, right? And so they come in and it's an easy sale, right? But when it comes to online leads, these are a much different buying process. They're in a different stage of the buying process. So they take a little bit longer for us to actually get them into the door. They take more warming up. They take more nurturing, right? And so with that knowledge, we understand that not all leads are created equal. And we're actually sifting out and weeding out people and trying to get them, trying to find the diamonds in the rough, essentially, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because not all of them, if I generate 100 leads, not all of them are going to become students, right? It's a numbers game. We're trying to find the ones that are serious, and then we run with them. So we like to qualify people we actually are starting a new process right now. We're just launching it right now where we're actually taking credit card information over the phone. In order for them to secure their spot, especially because today, like COVID is, really making this industry suffer a lot just because, there's limited space, especially the martial arts where it's like, we're supposed to be social distancing, but like jujitsu is literally like, how can I get as close to this person as possible to strangle him? like complete anti-social distancing, right? And so COVID is really, affected the industry hugely, and also in the class size, because we can't have as many people in the class. So we make sure that if this person is scheduled in for, let's say tomorrow at 4:00, that they're actually going to show up. And if they don't, we'll tell them, like, we actually obtain credit card information over the phone just to protect our owners and the instructors' time. Because if you don't show up, we could have had another person come in that actually wants to show up. And it's not fair for them. It's not fair for the students, not fair for the owners. And so if you don't show up for your appointment, we set that right away. And we say, if you don't want to get charged, at least let us know of you not being able to show up at least 24 hours before, or else we're going to have to charge you, right? Mm-hmm. And then so that, number one, it does qualify the people. It weeds out a lot of the people that are kind of like, I think I can make next Friday, it depends. So they're like iffy, right? So like if they're serious about really wanting to go, they'll give you that credit card and be like, yeah, you're not going to charge me, right? Yeah, it's fine. But if they're like iffy about it, they're going to be like, no, I don't want to do this. They were going to no-show you anyways. So weed them out.
Yeah. So, I mean, when you've got, say, 100 leads that you've got and you start calling them, how many of them will actually end up kind of booking a slot, a class with their actual credit card?
Oh, with the credit card?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so we're brand new. We're just starting rolling this out.
Ah, right. Okay.
So we got
a new service. Okay, that's
it's a brand new thing. We're just implementing it right now, so I can't give you that exact data. But from my mentors, all the people that have implemented this, someone like Joel Kaplan, he was like one of a 7-figure agency like coach. He doesn't accept clients that won't do that strategy because he knows you can't. Like it just really does weed out a lot of people, and he does like a good guarantee. Like he guarantees like 30 appointments. He has an irresistible offer where he guarantees like 30 show ups in 30 days or something like that. And you can't do that if you're just letting them no show without having any consequences, right? And so that's essentially what the route we're going to be taking. So then we'll see how it goes, but I think it's going to work because just like doctor, right? Like a doctors do that, right? Like if you don't show for your doctor's appointment, you're getting charged $50, right? So why are we being any different in terms of our level of service, right? It should be the same.
Absolutely. Makes total sense. So in terms of like building your agency right now, I mean, what are you doing in terms of prospecting to pick up new clients?
Yeah, so this was a big one for me before because I was struggling so much. I was just trying to do a lot of cold calling. That was interesting. It takes a lot of willpower to do cold calling. That was my initial outreach, just calling up everyone and getting rejected a million times. Then I said, hey, there's a better way, I think. Not saying anything bad cold calling. You should get those reps in just so you can get over the fear. I think getting over the fear is bigger than just having and like being able to just do it regardless of how you feel. That builds a muscle, right? That actually like you can actually strengthen, right? And so we moved away from that so much, and now we're going more into like cold email. So I now have a VA that is doing. They've already scraped all the schools in the states. Right now, we're sending out 1,000 emails a day,
Wow.
just like really, yeah, really short message, 1,000 messages a day. And then from the positive responses that we get, people that say yes, then we send them a booking calendar, and then I'll hop on the qualifying call. Then I'll try to get them in the demo right away. So we're doing that cold email number one. We started just doing last 2 weeks. We started doing Facebook outreach. So going on Facebook, seeing all the owners, try to find them, add them as friends, and then once they accept, then my VA sends out a message to them saying like, hey, introducing myself really quickly, and then asking them like, by any chance, would you be interested in if we can generate you 10 to 15 leads a week, right? And then people say yes, or they ask questions, they say no, and then we just take care of whoever's responding positively, right? And so that's been great, actually. That's been really good. People respond a lot better on Facebook that I've seen uh, than cold email, which has been
Okay.
really nice. And LinkedIn is another one. We're doing essentially the same thing. We're building
Yeah.
connections, sending out messages. And then the new one that's not so new, but it's new for me, but I'm going to be starting it this week is paid traffic. So I have not hopped on the paid traffic yet, but we got about 5K to invest in paid traffic, and we're just going to try to launch it, and we'll see how that goes.
Awesome. Awesome. So that, I mean, so you're doing basically everything that everyone's talking about, right? Because a lot of people think about prospecting and they think of it as being such a complicated thing, whereas it's really doing a couple of things, but doing it consistently and in a high volume to see some results. So hopefully some people will be taking some note that there is no magic pill here, that that you need to put in some effort. So in terms of when you're working with your clients, what kind of offers works well to generate leads? Are you doing like a free class or like a free membership for a month or a week or something like that? How do you craft an irresistible offer?
Yeah, so it really works on like we work with the clients a lot, and we'll see what exactly offers that they see what's been working. I always like to see what worked for them in the past, and also what didn't work for them in the past. And the free week seems to crush it all the time for us. So a free week or free day 10-day pass is what we're seeing generate a ton of leads. We have one client that actually is just doing a free week, and we're generating like $5 leads, and they got like 200 leads in a month, close to 200 leads, 160 something,
Mm.
just from a free week, right? And right now we're actually developing new offers that are actually more high end. So we're doing like 8-week white belt challenge. So if you're in the fitness industry, a lot of those offers are like 6-week challenges
Yeah.
where they have to lose X amount of weight in order to complete the challenge, things like that. We're essentially going to be doing that for martial arts. So it'd be like an 8-week white belt challenge. And the cool thing about this is like the owners, like we're not really changing the process at all, because it typically takes 8 weeks for a white belt to upgrade in
Right.
like like taekwondo or something like that, right?
Mhm.
So we keep it the same, right? We're not changing the process. We're just making the offer a little bit sexier. Like we're positioning it differently, right? So we're saying like they have to attend, 2 to 3 times a week. They have to be able to do a fitness test, like 10 push-ups or whatever. They have to be able to do their forms, right? Which is what is required anyways. But we're positioning it as like a package, so like they can see tangible results from like A to B in this package, and we can sell that as a high front end offer, anywhere from like $500 to $700, and then we could offer a lot of the things in addition to that, right? So we could offer like free coaching one-on-one, accountability. We could even offer like if some martial artists, they have some knowledge in nutrition, we can offer them some nutrition plan. I know a lot of fitness studios, they also do like a grocery list, things like that. So just showing them how much value we're adding into it, and then offering them a lower package, but it's still like $500.
Yeah. You can rip off everything in the fitness industry and repurpose it.
I mean, it's the same process, right? So
Yeah.
like, I learned a lot from Alex Hormozy. So I'm part of his group as well. And he talks a lot about like the 6-week challenges. And so it's like just trying to reposition it. Like I'm part of the group, and I was one guy. He was in a bed home improvement. No, not home improvement. So like bedding. Like he sells beds, mattresses and
Right.
stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, he's doing like a 6-week sleep challenge. And like it's like totally killing it, and he's charging like $500 or $600 for this 6-week challenge, and then after that front end offer, then he sells them the mattress, and then so it's like you have an additional, you increase the lifetime value of the client by offering something of high end on the front end, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you could just continue selling them on the back end afterwards. So I mean, you could do it in any industry, right? You just gotta be a little bit creative and see how you're going to position it.
So what you're saying? The guy gives away his premium mattress for 6 weeks, and if you like it, you pay for it. Is that how it
Yeah,
works?
I don't know the exact details of it, but that's what.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know the exact details, but he said it was a 6-week sleep challenge.
Right.
Where, yeah, I don't know the
There's
details.
so many challenges on Facebook right now, the 28-day challenge, 30-day challenge, 1-week challenge, and all of that. So, the leads that you're generating right now, do you try to recycle them? So if you can't get through to them, do you put them on the back burner, like on an email list, on a CRM system, or do you just kind of like throw it out?
So we're part of this group called Alan. So Alan is AI technology, where it actually, if you're familiar, it actually follows up with leads for you, and it re-nurtures them for 2 months after. So whereas a lot of salespeople, you generate a lead 1 month, 2 month, they're kind of gone, they're on the back burner, right? But this one will actually re-nurture them for 2 months plus. And the cool thing about AI is like, as quantity increases in lead flows, quality of service decreases, right? So if I give you 5 leads right now, you can handle them no problem. But if I give you 100 leads right now, you're gonna be like,
Yeah.
yeah, do it, and it's gonna be overwhelming. Cool thing about AI is it could handle 1,000 leads all the same, right? So the quality of the service never drops, and that's how our strategy right now in being able to nurture someone for a long extended time. In addition to that, we also have go high level. We have in the pipelines. There's different pipelines like appointment set, or sorry, newly appointment set, no shows, all that stuff. And there's one for not yet ready. And so if a lot of the times students, like leads, are not ready to become students just this minute. They're ready to become students maybe 2-3 months down the road. We'll put them in that re-nurture, not yet ready pipeline, and then we'll send emails like every quarter to them just to reactivate them. And also in addition to that, we also do database reactivations, right? So like a lot of businesses have a huge email list that they've paid for over the years, and it's just sitting there collecting dust. And like, you've already paid for this. This is traffic you own already, so might as well utilize it. And so we're huge into using text messaging. So we always, like every quarter, we send out a database reactivation text message. We just send out 100 a day, try to get them back into the program, because it's very inexpensive, right? All we're doing is texting, less than 1 cent a text, right? And we're utilizing, the leads that they've already generated, right? So why wouldn't you do that?
Well, it seems like you've got all corners covered, which is amazing. I did have a question about the creatives that you're using on Facebook, because you think about martial arts and you think about, you're going to have great videos of kung fu fighting and all of that. What kind of creatives are working well for you? Are you using video? Are you using like images? Kind of, what can you share in terms of what's working well for you?
Yeah. So we're always testing, right? The cool thing about martial arts is that you know, it's exciting. Like when you're seeing people like training, stuff like you're gonna watch. So we actually create some videos for our clients, some like highlight reel videos, just quick like 1 minute clips. But you know, sometimes images work too. So we're always testing the videos compared to images, and sometimes it's a simple like GIF like really works. Just so someone go like back, back, like that works. And we've been really careful with the new images right now, especially during this time during COVID, that we're not showing any videos or pictures of people sparring or people getting punched in the face. Like we try to keep it very peaceful, just so that they know that, you know, we do keep social distancing in class, right? We're not doing any videos right now of people like
Yeah.
hugging or like high five or anything like that. It's just like usually like someone like an instructor, because just people are very sensitive at this time, you know, understandably, and so we have to, you know, update our creatives to stay in with what's going on around the world, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, you know, you've been quite generous with what you're sharing here, so don't want to take up too much of your time now. So, final question for you, for people who are watching this video and they're starting their journey, you know, what lessons have you learned in building your agency that you can share with them that will hopefully help them to succeed?
Man, be a learning machine. Like results right away. It took me like first of all, it took me 3 years to be able to be confident enough to actually sell my services, and I learned that through martial arts because like when I won nationals as a competitor in Taekwondo, and then I just thought about like my work ethic back then, like how hard I trained, and then like how long it took me to win nationals. Like it took me like 12 years of training to win like one championship, like big national championship, right? So it wasn't overnight. And so like when I started this agency, like I was like, man, why aren't the results coming? I was getting impatient. Things weren't clicking. People didn't care about my services, things like that. But then I just reflected back, like it took me 12 years to win a championship. Like now what's 3 years really, right? In the span of your life, like 3 years is like that, right? So being patient and learning every day and making sure that you're progressing every day, because the secret to happiness, I think, is progression. Like if you know you're progressing, like you're always gonna you know you're getting better, you're gonna stay happy, you're gonna be happy because of that, right? And also like expecting failure, right? Like for me, I expect to lose, because before I was so optimistic when something happened, like you have a new opportunity that's going to happen, and then it never goes according to plan. So almost like always wondering, like thinking what could go wrong here, and like how could I be proactive about that and expect the worst so you can put yourself in a better position should that happen, right? Because like that was another thing, because when I was gaining so much momentum, COVID hit, boom, right? And then my business dropped 90%. And so just when it was like starting to like really ramp things up, right? And so it hit. Like obviously no one could really expect that. But just having, I think what helped me was having the mindset that things definitely could and are going to go wrong. And then having a game plan behind that. So being proactive in that. And honestly, finding good coaches, like, man, I think that's so important. Finding people that you want to be like if you want a $1 million business, you got to find someone that's done 10 million, right? You got to find someone that's way ahead of you. Find a mentor that can give you a clear path to success, that can see your obstacles before they happen, because they have that wisdom, they have that foresight, because they've been there before, right? And don't be cheap on investing in yourself, right? People like invest in stupid stuff all the time, right? But like an investment in yourself is the best investment you could ever have, right? And so that's why I really think like investing in the best coaches possible is going to save you a ton of time, number one, and money, right? And being super coachable is a common characteristic of the most successful people ever, right? Being coachable with what you have, with the people that are supporting you, right? And so that was something that really I internalized for myself, and that, you know, is helping me a lot to take me to the next level.
Awesome, awesome. Well, thank you very much for sharing all of that. You know, now if you want to find out more about what Nigel's doing and how he's helping martial arts clients, or if you want to harass him with questions, please don't harass him. But I'm going to tag him to this video. So on that note, Nigel, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you, brother. Thank you for your time.